Hi there, welcome to another edition of TokStocks. I'm your host, Keir Reynolds, and today we're lucky enough to have Francis McDonald, CEO with Lift Lithium. Trades on the TSX Venture Exchange with the ticker LIFT, L-I-F-T. How are you doing today, Francis?
Doing really well. It's been a busy conference so far.
Yeah, we find ourselves at the SMI, the Swiss Mining Institute conference here in Zurich. And I was just talking to somebody else and they said they had 22 meetings over 2 days. How about yourself? How are you doing?
Yeah, it's in that range as well.
Yeah. And what have you found in terms of the quality of meetings that you've had? Are you running into people that are already shareholders? Are you finding some individuals that might become new shareholders? Maybe you could tell us a bit about how your experience has been so far.
Sure. Yeah, I think I'd say it's about half and half of new meetings with people that I haven't met before, and 50% who I have that are shareholders. So it's a good mix.
Excellent. And for those of my audience that aren't familiar with Lift, you guys had a pretty interesting way that you sort of listed. You had a small number of shares and you got to a very large sort of high share price, pretty amazing sort of valuation out of the gate. And then you went and you subsequently did a bunch of drilling and you've put together one of the fastest resources I've ever seen in the lithium business. Maybe you could give a bit of an overview on the company, the history of the company, where you're located, and the asset.
Sure. So Lift is focused on hard rock lithium exploration in Canada, and our flagship asset is our Yellowknife Lithium Project. This is just outside the city of Yellowknife, so like we were just talking about, it's about a half-hour drive outside of the city limits. And that's where we've been focusing a lot of our attention over the last couple of years. And we have a couple other assets in the company as well that are going to see a bit more of a light shine on them in the next little while, so earlier stage, but also have massive potential. And the history of the company, so this was kind of spun out of one of my last companies called Kenorland Minerals, and we had staked a lot of land in Quebec, and it was at the bottom of the last lithium cycle. So we spun that out into a new vehicle and then eventually got introduced to the Yellowknife project. And like you said, we listed the company, there was about 18 million shares out when we listed it. And it was an advantageous time, it was lucky. We listed it through a direct listing at about $2 a share. And at the very top of the lithium market, we hit about $16.50 a share.
Wow, tremendous return for those early shareholders.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then subsequently, you have gone and done a bunch of work, and maybe you could explain a bit about the project and the stage of it, and you've got a maiden resource. Maybe you could explain a bit about that.
Sure. So our flagship asset is our Yellowknife project, and like I said, this is where we've done a lot of work. We came out of the gates and raised about 35 million in flow through, and that was all put into the ground. So the Yellowknife project is kind of unique because you have lithium deposits sticking out of the ground that you can literally see from space. So on satellite imagery, I can take out my phone on Google Maps and I can show you exactly where they are. And I think that's how we were able to raise a lot of money in the beginning, because the scale was really apparent. So we took that money, we went out and drilled 50,000 meters within about 10 months. And that's what went into the initial resource estimate that came out about 6 weeks ago. The resource estimate is about 50.4 million tons at 1%. And I think the big thing to note is we didn't stop drilling because we were out of resource. We stopped drilling because the lithium price was crashing around us. So lots of upside there. And this is the third largest initial resource estimate for any Canadian spodumene projects to date.
Wow, very impressive. 50,000 meters in 10 months. That's very impressive indeed. How many drill rigs did you have turning at any one time?
There's 6 rigs.
Yeah,
but yeah, coming out of the gate with 6 rigs on a new project, like it was kind of haywire in the beginning.
Yeah. I can only imagine. So you mentioned lithium market kind of crashing. We've obviously seen a bit of softness in some of the pricing, and that's sort of led obviously to stock prices in lithium juniors. It's an escalator on the way up and an elevator on the way down, as we kind of know.
Sure.
It's we've got a bit of leverage on the upside, and then we've got a lot of leverage on the downside. What do you think now? Are there any macro thoughts in terms of the lithium sector? Anything that you're sort of hearing?
Yeah, from a macro perspective, I think that this is a really great time to be looking at lithium equities. And lithium is an extremely volatile commodity, even within the commodity space, which is inherently volatile as well. And we've seen multiple cycles in the last 10 years. There's been 3 cycles. The thing for me that always backstops the thesis is that EV sales are up about 22% year to date. And this is where 80% of the lithium is going. So, you have a market that keeps growing at 20% compounded annually. Like, supply and demand are going to meet up at some point. And when they do, that's going to cause another lithium cycle to take off. So right now is a good time to be getting positioned. It's coming. If you can be a little bit patient, the returns can be spectacular.
What sort of work do you have sort of going on now with your project? Are you doing some additional drilling? Are you looking to continue to expand it? Are you looking to constrain costs?
Yeah, so in Yellowknife, we're going towards the preliminary economic assessment. So looking at economics, we're doing some work to upgrade the metallurgy. And the kind of overriding theme here is looking at optimizing the economics on the study. So that's what's happening in Yellowknife. And then, like I said, we've got these 2 other projects in Quebec. We're right in the James Bay district. We've got the largest land position around the Galaxy deposit in Whabouchi. We're surrounding Whabouchi, which is going into production in 2026. And we've been out there for the last couple summers quietly putting together some big geochemical sampling programs. And we have defined a 25-kilometer long spodumene anomaly. And this could be the signs of a new district. So we're going big in exploration this year, and that will be across our Quebec and Cali projects.
What's approximately your current share price and market cap?
Current share price, I think we closed at about $3.30 Canadian a share yesterday, and market cap is about $135 million.
And approximately how much cash do you have in the bank?
So we just closed a strategic investment, and this is a large corporate that took a 9.99% stake in the company. So that was, it closed on Thursday last week, 21.3 million. So we're sitting on about 23 million in cash right now.
Excellent. And maybe you could tell my viewers a bit about your background, how you got into the industry. Do you come at it from a capital market standpoint or a technical standpoint? You could explain a bit about who you are.
Sure, yeah. I'm an exploration geologist, so I worked for Newmont for about 8 years, and that was doing early stage exploration across Canada and Africa. And then I came back to Canada, started my first entrepreneurial endeavor called Kenorland Minerals with 3 friends that we'd all work together, all geologists. And Kenorland, we were operating a project generator business model. So we were staking claims, convincing other people to spend their money on them and keeping a royalty or minority interest. And so we did that pretty well. Kenorland's brought in, I think, probably around 125 million of partner funds. And we operated all of that exploration for companies like Newmont, Barrick, Freeport-McMoRan, Antofagasta, Sumitomo, and made a new gold discovery called Renault with Sumitomo as a partner. And that's probably somewhere in the range, there's no resource estimate out, but this is my own estimate, I think in the range of 3 to 4 million ounces at, call it 8 to 10 grams per ton. So
wow.
Greenfield's discovery. Yeah, and so we made another discovery with Newmont as a partner that's being followed up this year. So this is something I've been doing in Quebec specifically, is putting together big greenfields plays and operating large exploration programs that have led to new discoveries that are significant.
Excellent. So switching gears back to Lift, maybe you could just finish off with a bit of a summary and maybe a few catalysts that people should watch out for.
Sure. So I think we have the 3 projects in the portfolio. Yellowknife is at the study stage, and like I said, optimizing economics on that. We plan to deliver the PEA somewhere around April or May next year. And then in the meantime, we have a lot of new things to go out and talk about. So the Quebec exploration drilling and also our Cali initial drill test. So we'll be talking about the exploration targets in Quebec probably in February. That's going to lead into a drill program in March or April. Studies coming out just after that. And then we go into Cali exploration drilling in the summer. So lots on the go and lots of news flow this year.
Well, Francis, thank you very much for giving us an overview on Lift. I'll let you get back to enjoying the rest of the conference.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.